Piers on Piers Morgan uncensored version or channel. Yeah, I think before we come to a conclusion, like of voting for RfkJr, I want to see more of him, right? Not in a weird way, right? Uh, but I like most of his views, right? I think most politicians, if we want to vote them in, I mean, they gotta show that they're gonna do these things that they're talking about, like the housing, the inflation. Yes, that is something we should fix. Yes, brother. Yes, my guy. And then the peace, bringing peace to Ukraine and Israel, and with Russia, right? Bringing peace to all those countries. I think that's necessary because I don't want to be living in a world where war is going to happen, right? No one wants to live in that, right? But we live in a country that wants war, and I think that is definitely a dangerous path, a very dangerous path for the United States and for our people, right? Very dangerous. And we gotta have someone in politics that can fix these things, but we have two politicians that can, right? Donald and RfkJr, right? Donald shown that he can bring peace. He's shown that with North Korea. Shout out North Korea, dude. But he has shown that he can do that, and he has shown that he can bring the United States to a superpower with its economy, right? He fixed the economy when he came into office. More jobs, more money, more everything. Good tax cuts, good gas prices, right? Good food prices. But we also went into $1 trillion of debt, I believe. I might be wrong, but we also did. So we're in a big debt as a country, and sending all that money to other countries is going to be a huge problem, and that probably has to stop, right? Probably. But I think the most logical and reasonable person to vote for, in my opinion, is RFK. RFK, my boy. I think he's a logical choice, man. Because both sides, both sides are coming after him because he's not in a political party. He's independent, right? And both parties rule the country. They rule the country. So an outsider, kind of like how Trump was an outsider, but he was on the Republican side. And you know the outsider changes things. But we have to look at how is he gonna take action as president? Is he gonna go through with the things he's saying? He seems like he's reliable and he knows the people of the United States. It seems that way, right? It really seems that way. And as a president, it's good that people see you as relatable, trustworthy, most importantly, because you know how politicians are. None of them are trustworthy. You can't trust them with a loaf, a loaf of bread. They'll probably put water in it or something. You never know. But yeah, most of these people, we can't trust them, bro. And definitely the problem with social media, right? Controlling our thoughts, making this guy seem to be like a conspiracy theorist, because they are, man. Especially the things he said about like the vaccine, the vax, right? Ooh, close one. But let's look at a video of him talking about the things that he believes in and why people should vote on him, not by his political party, right? We're gonna watch this next.
In my independent campaign for president.
See, he's gonna go through. I'm gonna shut him. Let's just watch it.
And liberals have been calling me a conservative, and conservatives have been calling me a liberal. This isn't just name calling. The confusion is genuine for many people, and maybe you yourself aren't sure what you are. I don't really think...
I'm a helicopter. I'm a helicopter. That's what I am. 100%.
These categories are very useful anymore. My father was opposed by the liberal establishment when he ran for president in 1968. And so it's confusing even for me sometimes about how to label myself, but if I had to label myself, I would say that I'm a classic liberal or a Kennedy Democrat. So let me help you unravel what that all means, because I want you to vote for me or against me, not based upon the labels that people affix to me, but rather based on my position on the various issues. First, the classic liberal protects civil liberties from authoritarianism. For most of my life, it was the Republicans who sought to restrict freedom of speech and curtail other constitutional freedoms in the name of national security or law and order. For the last 10 years or so, it's been the Democrats who are restricting free speech and other constitutional rights. So who are the real liberals here? As president, I'm going to roll back the surveillance state and restore America as the land of liberty. Second, the classic liberal believes in free market capitalism, but understands that the need to protect the public from corporate excesses is also important. Without regulation and oversight, corporations cheat. They capture government agencies and they pervert free market.
You can kind of compare RfK Jr. to Theodore Roosevelt. Because if you think about this, Theodore Roosevelt went against the big industries, right? He had the Food Act bill, or whatever it's called. It's not, my brain's not working well right now. But the Food Act, or whatever it's called, where the meat was not taken care of well. They would be throwing it on the floors and stuff. That would be disrespecting the meats that people eat from. And so he wanted to pass this bill. Right? This is one of the bills where he actually helped the citizens, the small people, us. Back then, it would have been us, right? Then he also, the railroad companies would take advantage of the small companies, right? So, like this one person, he probably has a farm and he makes wheat, right? He probably makes $6. Let's say $6, right? Now he has to ship off that wheat to make the money to the buyer. Now, the railroad will carry the wheat and they'll take, let's say, 40 to 60% out of the amount of money that he makes, right? So they would take a big chunk, technically, of taxes, right, from him. So he only gets a small percentage of what he would actually make, right? So Theodore Roosevelt passed a bill to help the small people so that they would make more money and wouldn't be taken advantage of, right? Now, we need a person like that in office, right? A person who cares for the people and is there for the people. I don't think that's like something bad to ask for, right? Let's say if you wanted your leg chopped off. You wouldn't just go to the average bear. You'd go to the average man that knows how to chop a leg off, right? So you don't want to just go for an average person that doesn't care about you, right? You want someone to care for your leg, to take care of it, to put a nice little beautiful bandage on your leg after it's done, right? That's all we ask for.
Markets transforming the system from free market capitalism into corporate crony capitalism, a system of this very cushy socialism for the rich and a merciless, barbaric capitalism for the poor. For example, they pollute the air and water and soil and leave the cost to the public. That's cheating. Or they infiltrate government and they write laws and regulations in their favor. In recent years, both political parties have failed to stop this undermining of our democracy by crooked industry lobbyists. As president, I'm going to level the playing field so that consumers and small businesses at last have a chance. I'm going to get corporate influence out of government once and for all. Third, a classic liberal sticks up for the little guy and the people who get left out. And the ranks of those who have been left out have been growing every year. As president, I'm going to reverse that trend and bring them back in. Fourth, and this might surprise you, a classic liberal favors a strong border. That's because uncontrolled immigration depresses wages, putting American workers in competition with an endless pool of easily exploited labor. As president, I'm going to bring order to the border. I'm going to end the humanitarian crisis there and allow the optimum level of lawful, orderly immigration into this country. The classic liberal maintains a healthy skepticism of the intelligence services and the war machine. The classic liberal seeks peace and pursues democracy. Recently, Democrats and Republicans have sought to outdo each other in their belligerence. As president, I'm going to keep us out of foreign conflicts and bring the resources home to rebuild our own country. 6, the classic liberal nurtures the future of our country, robust health and economic opportunities for young Americans, and the opportunity to get into a home will be my priority.
Yes, sir.
7th, a classic liberal protects the environment. As president, I will return us to the traditional environmentalism that protects our wilderness, rebuilds soils, preserves our forests and rivers and endangered species and biodiversity. I'm going to get the toxic chemicals out of our food supply.
Good, man. Because, I mean, this one person named Jones, I mean, he kind of brought it up, but the way he talked about it was like out there, dude. He was like, because some people call him a conspiracy theorist, you know? But he did say, hey, the food source and the water supply is turning the frogs gay. Not that being gay is wrong, but what he meant by that is they are slowly taking us out to the funeral homes, right? They're slowly putting us out to the pasture, right? They are slowly killing us by the food supply. If you look at the average American, right, we consume lots of energy drinks, lots of soda, lots of fast food stuff, and the regular food has a lot of chemicals in it that's not that cool for you. It's not that good, man. And it is hurting us. It is killing us slowly. And the life expectancy, a lot of people are going to die by heart attacks and other diseases when they're in their 40s or 50s, right? And then next 10 to 15, maybe 20 years. We're not going to live as long as we used to due to the food supply being overly chemicalized. Not even a real word, I just made that up, right? But, I mean, this is a big thing he's talking about. And he's talking this game, right? But if he becomes president, I would want to see them taken in action, right? Because talk is not that cool. You can say these things and be relatable to the average Joe, but are you taking action? It's like you saying, hey, I'm a lacrosse player, but I don't even practice lacrosse. Okay, lacrosse. I don't even practice lacrosse. Fuck, I can't even speak. Lacrosse. Okay, let me try it again. That was a lot of autism. If you say you're a lacrosse player and you don't even practice lacrosse, what are you saying, bro? You know? With talking a big game, there must be action, right? With anything, just like me. If I say, hey, I want to become a millionaire, I'm not saving my money, I'm not doing good things and investing right and doing things like that, then I'm just putting out a lie. And that's wrong, right? But I don't want to cast stones at people. I don't want to judge. But if someone's going to become the president of the United States and there are people depending on him, I mean, God bless this man. God bless all of them. But if whoever takes office, there's a lot of power that comes to it. Shut up, Josh. But there's a lot of power that comes with this responsibility. And you have people in your hand. You know, in your hand, there are people that you need to take care of, right? You know, so if you talk a big game, we need you to back it up, right? And let the actions talk, right? And I think he might actually be doing it, but I'm worried when he gets in office, if he takes out the CIA and dismantles it, that's going to be maybe a good thing. But you never know how the things play out, right? Because you know how that happened last time. And it was in the 1960s. So, God bless him. Hope nothing bad happens, you know. Hope he doesn't fall asleep with a pillow on his head, you know. But God bless all these people, you know. But I hope he takes action, just like anyone, right? But as president, you gotta back it.
Water as part of my drive to reduce the chronic disease epidemic in America. 8th, classic liberalism recognizes that stable democracies require a strong middle class.
Yes, yes.
Disparities in wealth between rich and poor create a configuration that is too unstable to support a constitutional republic.
Now, to be honest, the middle class is a good aim, but we shouldn't aim for middle class, right? We should aim to be ahead, right? But as America and as capitalists, we do need a middle class. Because without the middle class, there is no stabilization of the economy, right? As we are in now, like in the recession of 2008, I think that's what started it. I don't know the most about economy, but as capitalists, we need a middle class, right? There needs to be a balance of things, like in all things of life, right? But we definitely do need a middle class. It needs to come back. There needs to be a resurgence of middle class so things can balance out. Just like the checks and balances of the United States. Now that is out of whack, right? We need checks and balances because that's the reason why the United States has lived on for over 200 plus years is because of the structure of the government. Now, not all things the government have been cool in the last 200 years. Yes, of course. But the structure that has been placed is a well-oiled machine, right? But it has been corrupt. Maybe it has been corrupt the whole time. And there's a lot of been mistakes. But I think we've grown and we can fix those mistakes, and come together as American people. I think that's the most important thing as children of God, as humans that God created. I don't think we should hate one another. I think we should come together, and who cares about the differences? I think that's just created by the government and different things to separate us. Instead, we should come together as children of the Lord and love each other and help one another along our journey. I think that's the most important thing, and that's the one thing we're missing as not just as Americans, but as children of Jesus and as the Lord, right? That we just need to come together. Who cares about where we're from? Who cares where we're going? I think we just need to, come together, man. Most important thing, because there's too much hate, too much anguish among one another, and it is definitely pushed more by the social media, by these outlets that want to separate us. But we should come together and love each other. I think that's the best option we got, right? Best thing we could do. Because if we're separate, we're controlled easily. Right?
As president, I'm going to foster entrepreneurial ecosystems and prioritize Main Street over Wall Street. And
yes, sir.
The American middle class.
Let's go, Warren Kitty, bro. To the moon, dog. To the moon. To the moon. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that movie, Dumb Money. One of my favorite movies, dude. Honestly. It's a great movie, man. Everyone should watch it because it's based on a true story. It's based on a blockbuster event, dude. Definitely banger, dude. It's a banger movie, man. You should watch it.
Finally, classic
not
liberalism is about fairness. This economy has become extremely polarized as labor's share of the income has fallen steeply to the benefit of corporations and the super wealthy. As president, I'm going to raise the minimum wage, support labor, close tax loopholes for the super rich, cut housing costs, and increase support for women and children with free daycare and a stronger food stamp program. I love the fact that creative, industrious, hardworking people can get rich in our country, but we also
I do not. I wish I did, but I gotta get up first, bro. I gotta get up, man.
America. Call me liberal, call me a Kennedy Democrat, call me independent or conservative, whatever you want. I don't care.
Let's go. Yeah, boys, we need to get GME. Maybe soon down the road, but we need to get up first, right? Get our money up. I think instead of starting investing now, get our money up, invest in ourselves, right? And then get down with GameStop. Oh, it's 20? Oh yeah, boys. We're gonna get on that. Okay, very low. Boys, why not? Let's get on it, right? We're gonna do, for these kind of live streams, we're gonna start live streaming on my second channel, smaller channel, right? All kinds of live streams will be on there from now on. I just wanted to live stream here because this is my main channel, right? Where I can come out and reach you, Say, hey man, come here. We're gonna have some fun. Come here. That looks a little weird, a little psycho, Didn't mean that if I freaked you out. But yeah, we're gonna do some live streams like that. And we could even do like investing live streams, stuff like that. Any kind of live streams we feel down to enjoy. But this is why I like RfkJr. Now, he is saying, hey, I don't want to be on either side, right? I want to do what's right. Uh, I'm an independent, don't vote for me just because I'm supposedly a Democrat, right? Don't vote for me or if I'm a Republican. Okay, Josh, diamond hands, dog. But, as I was saying, uh, the reason why I like this guy is because he's saying, I'm not a Democrat. Don't vote for me because I'm a Democrat. Don't vote for me because I'm a Republican, right? He's saying don't vote for me because of those reasons. Vote for me because what the value I bring. I think that's the most important thing. Because a lot of us, especially me, like back in the past, I would have voted for a guy because he's Republican, right? Just putting my hands to the sky, dude. Uh, but oh yeah, I think when I was growing up, I was lucky to have my father, right? He always put into me and my brothers the think on our own. Never trust the government. Like, not like that, but like, don't trust what the mainstream is always saying, right? Because they're not always right. You know what I mean? But he always told us to think on our own, right? Yeah, get the resources, prepare, and be ready for what's to come. Shout out his channel, Serious Survivor. He didn't have autism like me, so it's like well established, with like news kind of stuff, dude. Just beautiful content over at Serious Survivor. He's is prepping, getting ready for what's to come. Check out his channel, Serious Survivor. Right, his content was wonderful, beautiful. He always came across as cool and chill, man, and very caring. Most importantly, he talked about the Lord. I think that's a good thing. But yeah, if you want to get right on preparing and for when shit hits the fan, excuse the language, check out his channel, man. Doesn't have the schizo or autism like me. It's just well endowed content. There you go. Thank you, Josh. But enough talking about my dad. I could go on and on about him, but you guys are not here for that. We're here for RFK and why we're might vote for him, right? Most important thing of the live stream. Else I'm getting bitches. But RFK just seems genuine. He seems like he wants to change the country for the better and bring peace, right? But we also got to think about it like this. Now, I don't mean to always bring it back to the Lord and Jesus and stuff like that, but we might be in the end of time, so it's hard to trust any of these people, right? Not saying this guy is on the wrong side or the right. Yeah. But not saying this guy's bad or great, but we should always be careful who we try to idolize or try to trust, because it says do not have any idols, right? So that's hard to do nowadays, right? But I want to trust him. My heart is telling me to trust him and to vote for him because he is has most of my values, most of the things I believe in, and it just seems like, and plus he seems reliable because he is JFK's nephew, right? And JFK stood up for the right things. Now, he may have had some problems in his personal life, but overall he was a solid president, right? He didn't have all the years he needed to, but he ruffled a lot of feathers and some things happened. But RfkJr. has some connections that seem really reliable, and his views are very similar to mine. So it's hard to distinguish if he's good to vote for, right? And plus, I can't vote for him if he doesn't get on the ballot in 35 plus states, right? And if he doesn't have a chance to win. I believe he has a chance to win if he gets on to 35 states ballots, right? So that's the thing. We can't put the pen on paper if he's not on the ballots. So it's going to be hard. These are the things we got to be patient on, right? Because we got to wait on if he's going to get on the ballots, and if he can get on stage to debate these guys, right? That's the thing we gotta wait for. We may really want to vote for him, but this is a timely process, and we just gotta wait, let it play out. We can't just say, hey guys, you better vote for him or I'm gonna karate chop you in the throat, bitch. Okay. My bad. But we just gotta let these things play out. These are... And plus, it's kind of... Sometimes it's really hard to be patient, right? We gotta be patient. Even though the times may be really hard, right? For a lot of us, they are hard. Because... They are tough, right? Because of, you know, the prices of everything. And, you know, a lot of people are struggling to pay bills and struggling to, like, let's say, get their business up and running and stuff like that. So it's really hard to be patient with these things because a lot of the world, a lot of bad stuff's going down, right? But we can focus on this in a little bit, but let it go. You know, I need to let it go. And we just need to focus on things that's going to build us up, you know, like working out or like, you know, getting our money up, investing right. Listening to people that only bring us up and not bring us down. We gotta have the ups, not the downs, you know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing. We may like RFK, want him to become president, but there are some things that need to play out, and if God wills it, then it will be, right? So there's no sense in worrying about it. Just gotta leave it up to that. And if we can do something, we'll do it. But all we can do is talk about it a little bit and say, hey, we might vote for this guy if he gets up here, right? But if he doesn't get up there, it's going to suck, and that's okay. You know, some things don't play out. But I'd say if he gets on the ballots, he leans pretty much to what I believe in. You know, we shouldn't be in other countries' business. We should stay on our own for a bit, work on our stuff, and stay out of wars for a long time. Build up our stuff, you know, take care of the inflation, take care of the middle class, build it up again. You know, take care of these things that need real attention, right? Fix the school systems, because that's a really big must. School systems are collapsing, right? They're pushing a lot of stuff that they should not push. And there's just so much stuff that we need to fix as a country, instead of focusing on other countries and other wars that we need to be involved in. I'm just saying that the United States should take care of its own country for now, because if it doesn't, it'll be even worse in the next 10 years. It'll be over in 10 years if we don't fix now, right? That's how big it is. I'd much rather have RfkJr. as president. That's just me. Trump is good, yes, but I lean mostly towards RFK, man.